Hi, welcome to Pro Stitcher Designer Tips and Tricks. So this is the second video on how to use the thread color palette. I hope you watched the first one because that's got some good information in it. So I have learned that sometimes it helps an awful lot to have different parts of the design in different colors. So let me show you what I mean. Let's pretend that I'm going to make a border, just a simple border. And so I'm going to come up to the artwork, and I'm going to select the ellipse, and I'm going to hold down the control key and then draw the circle. And that's a perfect circle. Now I want to remind you that what I'm showing you are principles behind using different colors. So don't pay too much attention to the design. Think of the principle that I'm telling you about. Okay, so I've got a circle, and now what I need to do is I need to repeat it because this is for a border. So I'm coming up to repeat, and I only want one number down because that's for a border, and I think I'm going to have 21 circles. And then I'm going to say OK. So as you see it on the screen, if I want to put a fill in every third circle so it will stitch out with that design on the quilt, it's kind of hard to count through and say, oh, which one's the 6th or the 9th or the 12th? It's kind of hard to see. Now over here in the sequence pane, it's the same thing. They're all blue circles, and they all say artwork. So one of the easiest things to do is I'm going to click on I'm going to click on every third one. I'm going to hold the control key down and click on every third one. 3, 6, 9, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and there's 12, 15, 18, and 21. And now I'm going to click on the orange so that you can see the difference. Every third one is orange, and then you've got the 2 blue between. And that makes it a lot easier to see here on the workspace. If you look in the sequence pane, you can see 2 blue ones and 1 orange, 2 blue and 1 orange. And that makes it easy to see too, instead of going through and renaming them, giving them separate names. What I want to do now is change them to stitches. So I'm holding the control key on my keyboard and the A, and I'm going to come up to preview, and I'm adding stitches, and then I'm going to click on stitch out. Now notice the color here. So this is the principle. If you have different colors on different parts of your design and you're having a difficult time making the design look nice how you want it, you can see how it will stitch out if it is a different color from the other parts of the design. So let's say it's the second one. So you can manually scroll through the stitching. I'm just clicking and holding down on my mouse. And then when I come to this orange one that I know that I've had a problem in making that part of the design, I can just drag really slow over and to see how it stitches out. And then if it's okay, I'm happy. And if it isn't okay, then I have to go back and fix it. And now I need to select them all, and I need to turn them back to artwork, convert to artwork. Now what I want to do is I want to make a fill, different fills in the circles. So the principle is the fill sometimes doesn't stitch all the way around a circle depending on the design of the fill. So when you have 2 circles, you can put the fill in one and then have this other circle be where it stitches all around, making sure that you have the circle stitched out. So I'm going to select one, and on the keyboard I'm going to hold Control and C for copy, and then paste, Control V. And I'm going to do this to a couple of the orange ones. Oops, I've got to get the orange. Control copy, Control paste, and now I'm going to Control copy and Control paste. And as I come over And I think as I'm going along, I think I've got all of them in order that's going to have a filled design. But if I look over here, so there's the 2 blue and the orange, that's artwork and artwork. And then I'm going to come down to the effects option, and so click on the star, and I am going to choose the motif fill, and I'm just going to accept that motif and that type and that length, and that is just wonderful. And it's going to apply that. So there's that one that has the fill. Now I'm going to do the same thing on a couple in the sequence panel. Then I'm going to change that one with the motif and say apply. Then I'm going to come back to the sequence pane, and I'm going to say click or select that one, to the effects, click on the middle one, and then say apply. So now here visually you can see which ones have the fill in them and which don't. Let me show you what it looks like in the sequence pane. So you've got the 2 that are orange, and this one is artwork, and then the second one, the second circle, is the complex fill. So you can come down here and see which one has the fill and which doesn't. And you'll notice I don't have a second one. I haven't made a fill for that one, but I've made a fill for this one. So it's easy to go through and see which ones have the circle filled in with the complex fill. And it makes it easy because you've got the colors that are different from the blue colors. There's one last thing that I want to show you about thread and the thread palette. So I'm going to click on my design 2, and so I've loaded here a picture of a quilt block, and then I have just opened a block design from Pro Stitcher. And what I want to do is I want to put this on top of the block to see the color of the thread, if I like the color of the thread, and if I like the design. But you'll notice over in the sequence pane it says run, so that means it stitches, so I have to turn it to artwork. So I'm going to right click and converting to artwork, and see it's blue. So I'm going to come down here and select green, and you'll see it's green now. So I'm going to just drag it back on top of my quilt block, and I'm going to, oops, I need to center it a little bit better. Now I'm going to see how I like that color of green. Oh, that's not too bad. Now let's select, because there's another color that's yellow. I'm going to select the yellow. Well, I can't see that very good. Well, let me show you something that will be really helpful when you are trying to decide if you like the color, because it's very pale or it's lighter over the green. You can select it and then come over to under the artwork and select stroke and make that a bigger stroke. And what that will do is that will make the line of the design bigger. It won't change anything if you stitch it out, but it just makes it easier to see. So I'm going to change it to 3 and say apply. And so there is the yellow. And then, so maybe you don't like the yellow, so I'm going to select that design again. Well, let's see if that pale green, well, I kind of don't like that. I think I'm going to go back to this green. But remember, what you can do is you can right click on the thread palette. You'll get this pop-up window, and then you can choose different threads to see how they look on your design and change the color of the design to see if that's something that would show up, the thread would show up on your design when you stitched it out. Well, that's everything I have for the thread palette. I hope this has helped you to see how thread colors can make creating or modifying designs lots easier. If you like this video, please click on the like button below. That really helps people when they're looking for tutorials on how to use Pro Stitcher Designer. It helps them to find them easier. Thanks so much for watching.